Has anybody got any weapons?
Yeah, we got swords, clubs, knives.
It's the same old problem of what keeps me from pulling the gun out.
I think it all happened so quick.
The 80s are a virtual treasure trove of movie nostalgia, and 1981 was no exception.
Do you really think so?
It gave us classic comedies like Time Bandits and Stripes.
Razzle dazzle!
Classic dramas like On Golden Pond and Chariots of Fire, and even a Great Muppet Caper. All that, plus the long-awaited return of Smellvision. There are just way too many beloved films from 1981 for us to name.
I'm too tired. Maybe later.
We're taking you through all of the best movie and Hollywood-related news and events of the 1980s. This is Timeline Movies. And since 1981 was when the Cannonball Run was released, we'll try to do this fast. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and to let us know in the comments below about your favorite movie memories from 1981. Now, are you ready to find out what was going on in the movies the year the first Delorean rolled off the assembly line?
I like it.
It began as an idea. A video camera and VHS recorder, all in one.
JVC and Sony kicked off the year on January 9th by demonstrating the world's first camcorders in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the annual Consumer Electronics Show. The product wouldn't actually become commercially available until 1983, but once it did, holidays and dance recitals would never be the same.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious.
Somewhere in these woods lies an experience too terrifying for words.
Joe Dante's slapstick horror mystery, The Howling, hit theaters on March 13th.
Rick Baker, who worked on the picture initially, came up with these kind of masks that would elongate. The only reason Rick was doing our picture was because John Landis and he had been planning to do a picture called American Werewolf in London, and John had never actually done it.
The movie tells the story of a reporter who finds herself at a resort occupied by one or possibly several werewolves.
I have silver bullets in here.
Silver bullets, Myers.
It was only a moderate box office success, but it became a cult classic and kicked off a franchise that would eventually include 7 sequels and a comic book series. Meanwhile, Joe Dante would go on to direct other 80s gems like Gremlins and Inner Space.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm possessed!
Stealing away to the end of the month, Michael Mann's classic crime thriller Thief broke into theaters on the 31st, starring James Caan as a safecracker trying to go legit and boasting a radical soundtrack by Tangerine Dream.
My more programmatic, kind of formalist approach is that the film will benefit from the abstraction of electronic score, and I decided to go with Tangerine Dream.
The movie was Mann's first outing as a writer and director after years of success on television.
I am the last guy in the world that you want to with.
He would later go on to create Miami Vice, as well as a number of other popular crime thrillers like Heat and Collateral.
Time for everyone's annual Oscar predictions. And in the Best Picture category, there can be only one winner, and that is Tess, because Hollywood hasn't had a good party since Roman Polanski left.
After being delayed a day due to the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan, really? Only a day?
After all, you must remember this is a man who yesterday, while he was in the hospital unable to speak, wrote on a sheet of paper, "All things considered, I'd rather be in Philadelphia."
The 53rd Academy Awards went ahead on March 31st. The evening was dominated by the drama Ordinary People, which won Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor for Timothy Hutton, Best Director for Robert Redford, and Best Picture. Other winners included Best Actor Robert De Niro for his role in Raging Bull, Best Actress Sissy Spacek for Coal Miner's Daughter, and Best Supporting Actress Mary Steenburgen for Melvin and Howard.
Well, I'm gonna have to figure out something new to dream about, that's for sure.
Superman 2, the sequel to Richard Donner's 1978 hit Superman, which starred Christopher Reeve as the eponymous hero.
Well, I've been working out.
Soared into theaters on April 9th. Despite a change in directors from Donner to Richard Lester, the film, which found the Man of Steel battling Lex Luthor and 3 Kryptonian supercriminals, drew praise from critics and audiences alike, and taught us all the phrase, "Kneel before Zod!" Just over a month later, on May 16th, MGM sent shockwaves through Hollywood when it purchased United Artists for roughly $250 million in cash. Founded in 1919 by Hollywood legends Charlie Chaplin, D.W. Griffith, Mary Pickford, and Douglas Fairbanks, UA's film library included some of the most famous movies in history, including Casablanca, The Maltese Falcon, West Side Story, Rocky, the Pink Panther series, and 12 James Bond films. 2 weeks later, self-appointed king of bad taste John Waters revived a bygone theater gimmick known as Smellvision for the May 29th release of his comedy Polyester.
Odorama will enable you, the viewer, to actually smell right from your movie seat.
Prior to the film, viewers received a card with 10 numbered areas. The film would then flash a number on the screen, prompting viewers to scratch and sniff the corresponding area at the appropriate time.
You get it? You smell it? It works!
The cards included scents like flowers, gasoline, and, believe it or not, feces. We did say it was a John Waters film. On June 8, 1981, Denver-based oil baron Marvin Davis shelled out just over $700 million to acquire 20th Century Fox. Just 3 years later, however, Davis would sell an interest in the studio to Australian publishing mogul Rupert Murdoch's News Corp, who would then buy out Davis's remaining interest in 1985, making Fox the last of Hollywood's major Golden Age studios to be acquired by an outside corporation. By 1981, Mel Brooks was already a comedy icon, so Hollywood insiders expected audiences to line up for his latest movie, The History of the World Part 1, released on June 12th.
Occupation? Stand-up philosopher. I coalesce the vapor of human experience into a viable and logical comprehension.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
Despite being greeted by mixed reviews and disappointing box office returns, it still wound up becoming one of the decade's most iconic comedies, thanks to Brooks' ability to turn any situation into a gag.
The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15... Wait. 10 commandments!
If adventure has a name, it must be Indiana Jones. And the world got to meet Indy for the first time on June 12th when Raiders of the Lost Ark came crash rolling into theaters. Directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by George Lucas, and starring Harrison Ford, the film, which would later be renamed Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, was a rip-roaring homage to the adventure serials of Hollywood's golden age.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
In the famous shot of me facing the Cobra, you can barely see a reflection on the sheet of glass that was between myself and the Cobra.
We need about 7,000 snakes in addition to the 2,000 we have here to make it work.
It would finish as the year's #1 movie, while launching one of the most successful and beloved franchises in movie history. On May 18, 2023, roughly 42 years after the release of Raiders, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny made its debut at the Cannes Film Festival. Directed by James Mangold, the sequel found its hero coming out of retirement to retrieve a powerful artifact that can alter time. The movie, which was meant to serve as something of a swan song for Harrison Ford's version of the character, received mixed to positive reviews and failed to break even at the box office.
The myth, the magic, the mystery, the majesty. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents Clash of the Titans.
June 12th brought the release of Clash of the Titans, a mythological adventure film that was the last movie to include special effects work by the legendary Ray Harryhausen. And even he thought it looked a little old-fashioned compared to slick new blockbusters like Empire Strikes Back and Superman.
And this model is made in such a way that it has many joints.
Even down to the fingers?
Even down to the fingers, and each snake has a joint.
Nonetheless, the film, which starred Harry Hamlin, Burgess Meredith, and Laurence Olivier, finished as the 11th highest grosser of the year and is now regarded as an 80s classic. And on July 10th, the now classic sci-fi action-adventure Escape from New York landed in theaters. Directed by John Carpenter, the movie presented a dystopian near future where the island of Manhattan had become a prison.
Truly have a problem with authority. Any chance I can get to belittle authority, I love to do it.
Kurt Russell, previously known as a child star, played the swaggering hero, Snake Plissken.
Call me Snake.
And the film's massive box office success completely changed his image.
Had a conversation one time, I remember, about no man being an island. We both vehemently disagree with that. Some men are islands. Snake Plissken is that island.
Even Tom Cruise had to start somewhere. And that somewhere was in the romantic drama Endless Love, released on July 17th. Directed by Franco Zeffirelli and starring Brooke Shields, the film, in which Cruise played a minor role, struck out with critics.
I lit a whole pile of newspapers. You ever try to light a whole pile of wet newspapers?
Nonetheless, it turned out to be a box office success, and its theme song, recorded by Lionel Richie, spent 9 weeks at #1, scoring an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song.
This is the story of 2 young American students traveling through England on the night of the full moon.
But you don't understand what's going on. I understand, all right. You're one of the undead, and I'm a werewolf. Yes, that's right.
Hot off the success of 1980's The Blues Brothers, John Landis pivoted to directing the horror comedy An American Werewolf in London, released on August 21st. The film's famous transformation sequence was accomplished using surreal makeup effects designed by the now legendary Rick Baker.
We made what we called change-o heads and change-o hands, which were prop likeness that actually physically had a mechanism inside that would distort it into a different shape. So we went to a urethane elastomer that we could plasticize, and it made this very stretchy, flesh-like material.
And his efforts won him the first ever competitive Academy Award for Best Makeup. Released September 16th, Mommy Dearest was a biographical drama about the childhood of Christina Crawford, daughter of legendary actress Joan Crawford. The film, which starred Faye Dunaway as Joan, immediately became infamous for a graphic scene that depicted the actress whipping her daughter with a wire hanger and screaming,
No wire hangers!
Christina Crawford said the incident was entirely fictional, but the line became part of the zeitgeist, like,
Show me the money!
And
I'm the king of the world!
now widely regarded as one of Hollywood's best actors, Denzel Washington got his big screen start in the comedy Carbon Copy, which hit theaters 9 days later on September 25th. The film starred George Segal as a rich white businessman who learns he has a 17-year-old black son, played by Washington.
It's just too much of a shock for me to accept you as her son.
Well, if that's too much of a shock for you, you're liable to go into a coma when you get behind this. Hi, Daddy.
The movie was the first original film produced by RKO Studios in 23 years. But despite launching Washington's career, it struck out with both critics and audiences.
Carbon Copy. Any resemblance between father and son is purely hysterical.
Imagine a movie where 2 middle-aged men sit in a restaurant having a long, meandering philosophical conversation.
I mean, are we just like bored, spoiled children who've just been lying in the bathtub all day?
But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing?
And now imagine that movie was a massive hit. That improbable situation occurred on October 11th, when My Dinner with Andre released in theaters. A quirky drama written by and starring Andre Gregory and Wallace Shawn, the unusual film is now regarded as a bona fide classic and has been parodied in media like The Far Side comic strip, The Simpsons,
Thirsting for a way to name the unnameable, to express the inexpressible.
Tell me more.
Family Guy, and even Frasier. The idea of a human character made with CGI is old hat these days. But when Looker was released on October 30th, it was virtually unheard of. Looker, which dropped a few months before Disney's Tron, was the first to employ a computer-generated 3D model of a person. That model was used to represent an in-universe computer graphic, rather than an actual human character. So it wasn't quite Gollum in Lord of the Rings, or even Jar Jar Binks. Nonetheless, it was a groundbreaking use of digital effects that paved the way for future effects blockbusters like Jurassic Park. Finally, Mad Max 2 careened the black-on-black into Australian theaters on Christmas Eve. Now considered one of the best action movies ever made, the film's American distributor renamed it The Road Warrior, because the original had never officially been released in the US. And to be totally honest, it's a better title.
I'm gravely disappointed. Again, you have made me unleash my dogs of war.
The Road Warrior was a smash hit in both countries, setting its lead, Mel Gibson, on the path to superstardom. So what do you think? Did we miss one of your favorite flicks of 1981? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other Timeline videos.